So we came out to the boat this weekend to look at the transmission and confirm what we suspect is still the problem.
Yeah, we came out to do some more testing. We did a lot of research over the last week and kind of confirmed our suspicions. There's a lot of people that have this exact same transmission attached to the exact same engine, in a lot of cases on the exact same boat, and they have the same symptom. Reverse works, forward doesn't. Or if they put it in forward and wait an amount of time, eventually it will go into forward. A lot of people that have that issue tend to say that it gets worse over time. Like the amount of time it takes to slip into forward gets longer.
No, it's still not there, is it? It's not like it was. Now it is. See, you can feel it, and we're at less than 2,000 RPMs, and it is testing those dog lines. So that was what, 10 seconds maybe, 15? That it didn't go into gear, and it instantly goes into reverse. Back to neutral, back to forward. Now, you hear that?
So another thing we noticed that I didn't notice last time is that it kind of makes I hate to use the word grinding, because it's not really, what would you call it? A rattling maybe? Like a rattling sound when it's in forward.
Now putting it forward. Now turn the throttle up a little bit. That's enough.
And then once it finally pops into gear, I don't hear that noise anymore. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. But the conclusion that most of those people that have that problem come to is that you have to do something to the transmission, either have it rebuilt or replace it. The problem is on this boat with this engine and this transmission, the transmission's attached to the bell housing, I think it was, and at least one of the bolts is on the inside of the bell housing. So in order to do anything to the transmission, you have to take the engine out of the boat. So you have to lift it up out of there to do anything to it, and then what ends up happening is after if you take your boat somewhere or pay someone to do it, by the time they've done all the work to get it out of there, then paying someone to rebuild the transmission, you're within a couple $100 of just replacing the transmission with a new one. So the other problem is that they don't make that specific transmission anymore. So you have to get a different transmission, which sometimes is a little bit different size. So you have to adjust your drive shaft a little bit further back. Originally, the thought process was, there's no way we can take the engine out of a boat. We don't know anything. Do you know how to take an engine out of a boat?
No, it's kind of scary.
It's kind of scary, but it's just like everything else. I mean, the dudes at the marina they're not magic. I think we've said that before in our videos. They're not magic. They have a book. They know where to get parts, and they've probably done it before. So I think at this point we're going to try to tackle that ourselves, even though it's incredibly daunting. Yeah, it's overwhelming when you look at all the stuff in there. But we took the panels off last night, had a good hard look at it, and it seems like you have to pretty much disconnect everything from the engine, and then rig up a pulley system, or a come along, or a chain fall, or something to be able to lift it up out of there. As long as you write down where the wires go, and you take really good notes and pictures of everything that you disconnect, you should be able to reconnect it.
Don't tell anybody I wear reading glasses. Don't step right there. If we had to replace that cable, we would just replace it. We wouldn't think about it. I'm not quite sure about this little thing when it's turning. is pushing water up out of this hose. Because when I saw this, I was like, oh shit, that's not good. Which goes over there, and I believe it goes to the hot water heater. We would just go to this side, take a wire off, put a wire on, and so forth. So this guy, which pushes it into here, that goes back there and ends up going into that wiring harness. But there's also a wire on it, which pushes it out the exhaust. It could be a thermostat or something. And it goes all the way back to that panel back there. But I realized that they had replaced it with this, and then it pushes the water out of that back to this, because this wire ultimately went to where this red one goes. You take all of this shit off and replace it, I don't think it would be that big of a deal.
So that's where we're kind of stuck at right now. In order to take the engine out, you have to take the sinks out. You have to take the whole cabinet out of the galley. It has to be completely gone out of there. And in order to do that, you have to take the stove out as well. So you have to disconnect the gas, take the stove out, which is hanging on that cabinetry. Then you take the cabinet out. And a lot of people say that part of it is the hard part, and disconnecting the stuff. But once you get the engine up out, you're talking about 20 minutes. Unscrew these 6 bolts, take this piece off, put the new piece on, and then reverse everything that you did. So I think that's where we're at right now. The other option would be for us to, have the marina do it for us, which would probably easily double the cost. So, and we kind of figured doing it ourselves there's 2 pieces to it. One, if we take it all apart and we just cannot figure out how to fix it, or how to get the new transmission on there, or we break something or whatever, we can still have the marina look at it and fix it while we have the means and we have the resources now, which we probably wouldn't have later if we were full-time, or God forbid if we were in Mexico and where you can't get parts and you needed to do something yourself. That's the other part, is that we'll have the experience of knowing how to do that if we had to do it. So there's upsides to doing it ourselves too. The other side is that it's expensive and we don't gain any knowledge.
Right.
So
And that's the part of this being our first boat, and wanting to fix things that break, so that we are prepared when we do determine that we want to get a bigger boat, that we kind of know how to fix these little things, or these big things.
Yeah, that's a big thing. And another upside is that if I know how to do it, there's probably a lot of people that don't know how to do it, and if they need help doing it, then that might be an opportunity to make a little bit of side money, or at the very minimum trade hours and hands for free beer or something like that. So that's where we're at right now. I don't want to do it. I really don't want it. But I guess it's not that I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to do it. I don't want to be in a position where I have to do this. I want it to just work. I want a unicorn to come by and sprinkle rainbows on that, and it's just fixed magically overnight. And I know that's not going to happen. So that's where we're at right now. So it's Sunday and it's football, and I say it all the time, but it's time to pack it up, go home and drink beer and watch football. So that's what we're going to do right now. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Adios. Bye. Shout out.